Support from the Meeple Minded comes from listeners like you. The next time you're looking for that new geek-tastic purchase, why not support us by using our affiliate link, where we get a small percentage of the total at no extra cost to you. Go to thecomicshop.co.uk/MeepleMinded. Thank you for your support. What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded podcast, the podcast where we talk all things tabletop gaming. My name is Jason.
And I'm James.
And joining us today in the Meeple Minded studio, actually in the studio, James, which is awesome, we have two guys who are freshly back from their gallivanting trip to the land of Bratwurst and the spiritual home of Eurogames. Of course, I'm talking about Germany, and more importantly, the world's largest tabletop gaming convention that is Spiel at Essen. First off, we have Wayne from the Bored Stupid podcast. How are you doing, Wayne?
Guten Abend, Jason, wie geht's?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks very much. Had to expect that. Okay, that's the extent of my German. But no, we had a cracking time. I'm just about recovered. We were chatting just before we went live on the gramophone recordy.
Oh yeah.
And I spent all of Monday just trying to process the event. But yeah, we made it. But yeah, thank you for welcoming me on the show.
Definitely. And I'm glad to see that we gave you a day to rest before I pounced on you. Right, you're coming on and talking.
Tomsit, get on the podcast.
So yeah, we have Mr. Wayne Tomsit. He is here, but we also have the Ant-Man himself from the MTVB podcast. How are you doing, Ant?
Wunderbar, sir. How are you?
There's too much German going on. Considering I got a B in German and I'm not recognising any of this.
Yeah, all you did is recite Rammstein lyrics. Why?
We were doing that.
Du hast.
Exactly.
Du hast nicht.
That's what we were doing.
Du hast mich gefragt.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yes. God, I love it.
We can say goodbye to all of your German listeners now.
Well, I think, to be honest, because we're going to be talking about Spiel, because unfortunately myself and James weren't able to go. And, of course, we haven't brought you on here out of spite or vengefulness that we didn't get to go and that you guys did.
Not at all.
Family-friendly show. Can't actually say what's on my mind, but, But yeah, I think you're probably going to wax lyrical about it, so we'll get those German listeners back.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Yeah, as long as you let me out of your house and don't cook me in a pie out of revenge, we're all good.
It's tempting. It is tempting, but
or turn me into schnitzel, be something more appropriate.
Oh yes, yeah. So now I'm a huge fan of Bratwurst, man. That's just the food of Germany.
We ate mostly sausages.
Yeah, I actually got my Bratwurst on Sunday.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah. It was good. Starting the day with a good, healthy portion of sausage.
Yeah.
We did. Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah,
every morning.
Every morning.
Yes, you did, yeah.
Never goes wrong, mate. Sausage in the morning. Like, just stick it in your mouth and enjoy it.
That's it.
Family show.
Well, I mean, we were going to ask you for some recommendations to listeners out there who might want to go to Spiel next year, but I think we've now got the number one advice right there from Wayne. Stick a sausage in your mouth every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
And you'll be happier. Someone will be.
So, James, I mean, I'm really not bothered that they got to go to Germany. I wasn't totally annoyed, depressed, and all sorts while they were putting up lots of pictures and videos.
Oh, yeah, I was completely indifferent and was not cursing them in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not.
I'm not going to apologise to you. I don't know what you expect.
We don't expect an apology. However, because we weren't able to be there, I had to call upon your wisdom to talk to our lovely listeners about your experiences at Essen. And more importantly, give our own James some advice, because he is going to be doing cons next year for the first time.
Yep.
So we might, delve into your wisdom for that as well.
I don't know why. You're going to make me work both of them.
I'm going to crack the whip.
Make sure you take your whip, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Meeple-minded whip.
If it makes you feel any better, Jason, I bought you a present from Spiel.
Oh, did you now?
Yes. One that you could only get there and to make you feel better about not going. So we saw the Dice Tower and I saw this and I thought of you. And we have exclusive promo cards for Dynogenics.
Oh.
Signed by Tom Vassell. with Tom Vassell riding a Triceratops.
Oh,
That's for you, dude.
That's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. I did not expect that at all. And
Well,
it
my
really is
pleasure.
Tom Vassell riding a Triceratops.
Signed by the man himself on Sunday. Yeah, so if it makes you feel any better, there's that for you.
Dude, you are indeed a legend. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
My
It
pleasure,
really
dude.
is.
Yeah.
I need to play Dynagenics again now. Not that I need an
But
excuse.
he showed that to me on Sunday. I was like, he is going to flip over that. He's going
I
to absolutely
am.
love that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
mate.
saw it and I went, Jason, I want that.
Oh.
I bought that.
I
You're welcome.
would genuinely, I will give you a hug afterwards because it doesn't work well on audio.
Oh, no. But explaining to the listeners at least, yeah, just some promo cards, but I could only get at that place and thought you'd like them.
Oh, mate, I can't. I need to watch my language here. But I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. And yeah, signed as well.
Pleasure.
I don't even know if I can put that in the game. That might have to.
I was
that
gonna
might
say,
have to
are you
stay-
gonna-
Just
stay sealed.
double bag it, mate.
Yeah.
I wonder which card's coming out.
I guess so.
The deck is toppling at that particular bit. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
why,
yeah.
but yeah. No, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah. No,
It's almost worth having me over now.
It is. It
There you
is.
go.
All of that abuse I was taking before we went live, and that has made it all worth it.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
See, look at that, James. They were even thinking of me while they were on their holidays in.
You should have been there, man.
That's
Next
great,
year,
yeah.
though,
Oh,
you're coming along.
Yeah. I've already made.
You had to
made
sell
plans.
Dynagenics to me. You could have come.
Yeah, well, then it would have been pointless.
Then that would have been
wouldn't
mine then.
Yes.
But yeah, so Wayne, we'll ask you a couple of questions first. This is not your first expo. Obviously, that was the UKGE for earlier on in this year.
Yep.
So, by comparison, how was it at the Spiel compared to our biggest one here in the UK?
Well, an immediate sense of scale that I can give you for anyone that's been to UKGE, it's about at least 3 or 4 times the size. I mean, it is freaking enormous. I mean, if you've been to UKGE and you've been to the big NEC in Birmingham, think about the biggest conference hall, the biggest expo hall. It's 7 of those. It's enormous. So the first thing that hit me was the scale of the event. The second thing that hit me was just the density of people. It like at UKG you could sort of stroll around and do your own thing for the most part, regardless of the day. Yes, some days were busier than others, but there wasn't really a point where you felt, God dang it, I'm being crushed here. But at Spiel, especially on the Saturday, and in Hall 3 specifically, getting from one side to the other was arduous. It was.
Germany has the slowest walkers ever. Good God. The amount of times I was behind people and they were just either stopping or just like not realizing people were behind them. I was like, good God. I knew it was on the verge of moving them aside, you know? It was
Absolutely
getting annoying.
The other thing that really struck me was UKG is great for retailers, and especially being English, you're going to get all of your stuff probably from retailers because they'll have the best prices, if not direct from the publisher. But at Spiel, obviously that's less relevant for English people because a lot of the retailers are German. Naturally so, of course. There are some international retailers there, but they are fewer in number. And even the German retailers sometimes will do English editions of games or games that only have an English language edition. But for the most part at Spiel, you'll be buying your games direct from the publisher who will offer the English and German language of the games.
Yeah.
So that was another big difference, is your buying options are somewhat more limited, surprisingly, for a 7-hall event, but it's due to the nature of it being in Germany, which is fine. And I suppose the third thing that struck out to me compared to UKGE was just UKGE is a great celebration of games, and it's a celebration of British gaming, I guess. But Essen is the mecca.
Yeah.
That is, it's the number one event. It's bigger than Gen Con. It's bigger than anything else. And just how many games release dates revolve around Spiel was amazing.
Yes.
It was something like 500 odd games that were coming out in
English. Yeah, it was
at the event, and then it was something like 1,000 odd.
Well over
languages.
1,500 by the time the event started in different languages. But yeah, some 500 to 600 in English. New releases available on that weekend. It was wild. So just immediate thoughts, comparison from UKG to Spiel. Those 3 things really.
Nice. Now, Ant, totally different ballpark really to Wayne on this one because this is your first tabletop gaming con, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yet you've gone headfirst in at the deep end at the biggest one there is in the world. How was it for you? Was it up to the expectations, considering you've had the likes of me and Wayne banging on about how amazing UK Games Expo is, but how was it at Spiel? Was it above or below your expectations?
I have to say, as Simon would say it, overwhelming isn't the word. Whelming.
Whelming.
But my expectations were, it met them completely. It was just, how do I can't put it into words really. It's just, it was everything I expected.
Yeah.
But just bigger. Just because I've been to cons in my life, not obviously gaming cons, but I've been to Comic Cons, I've been to the granddaddy of them all in San Diego. The sheer size of this place.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have a weekend there.
Yes.
Regardless. You can't do it in a day. Full stop.
We spent all day, 8 hours
Just in
walking
2
around.
halls.
In 2 halls. Like, you got another 5 halls. Yeah. It's like, how do you do it? You can't do a day there. It's not possible. So, yeah, it was amazing. I think we all had our own different expectations, and I think Ant was fairly well briefed before we went, because we had a little preview and we talked about the scope and the scale. So I suppose you already had a picture of what the event might be before we even went, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, it was just trying to take it all in, and just so glad we had a whole weekend there.
Yeah.
I would have been super pissed if I just had the one day there and be like, 2 out of 6 halls, that's not good.
Yeah.
Unless you're like someone who's dedicated and knows what they want. I'm going to go here, there, done, then it's fine. But the fact to just take it all in, can't do it in a day. No way.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. So it's obviously an event that runs, because Spiel runs Thursday through to Sunday, doesn't it? Whereas Games Expo in the UK is Friday through to the Sunday.
That's right.
And you were there on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, we actually arrived on the Thursday. We could have done the Thursday event, but we kind of arrived roughly halfway through the day.
Right.
So we're sort of debating whether we should go. In retrospect, maybe we should have, but you don't know until you know. But yeah, we were there from the Thursday to the Sunday, but our actual paying days were Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they were all jam-packed. I mean, there is no way you can be bored, really. There's always something to look at.
Yeah.
There's always something to see, and definitely there's always something to play. Yeah.
Nice.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The old gods have fallen, and the world descends into turmoil.
But amidst nations rallying their armies,
A nefarious cult, hell-bent on chaos,
and the new gods, attempting to seize control of it all.
A spark of hope arises.
We are the agents of repair, and we vow to contest these evils.
To make the world a better place, no matter what stands in our way.
Listen to Venture Forth, a D&D podcast, across all podcasting platforms.
Were you part of the massive group of people waiting to go in before they open the doors, and then
for the most
people
part
doing marathon sprints across the?
Well,
entire...
what was interesting is as you go to approach the Messe Essen, the conference center where everything is there, you've got folks directing you down to the different exits, because the exits fill up really quickly. So the exits, the entrances, the different entrances, or the entrances fill up quickly. So if you want to say enter at hall 6 because you know a certain game publisher is going to be in hall 6 and you want to be first in the queue, well, sometimes you're sort of, right out of luck, because if you're a little bit late getting over the bridge to get to the conference center, they'll just send you down to the next available entrance, and then you won't get to that publisher in time. And then if that one fills up, they send you further down, and then they send you further down until they get to the last one, which is the very, very entrance to the conference center, which takes you through hall 7, I think it was,
right, yep.
Which is basically just a zombie apocalypse style holding hall of just thousands of people waiting for the shutters to come up onto the different, sort of shutters into this giant conference. And so we were in it pretty much the entirety of the weekend, mostly also because we had to drive there early, park up, find the parking space, which was actually surprisingly easy.
This was the thing, because like I said, I've been to previous cons and I've had issues with parking, queuing. With this place, it was such a breeze.
It was a breeze, yeah.
We found a space, no issues every day.
Yep.
When we got there wasn't people pushing, hoarding anyone.
No.
You got in a queue, well spread out.
Yeah.
You can even have your own space for filming, like you guys did with your podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just, no issues with entrance whatsoever, or exit.
No.
Really,
really easy to do. So, we were in that sort of throng of folks, but it wasn't for anything more than sort of 20 minutes. And it's actually really orderly. And once you get in there, it's, You just do your thing. The only time you really felt sort of jostled around was like in the middle of the day, in the thick of it, and you're trying to get to a very popular stand or publisher or game. But yeah.
So being there for the 3 days, what would you say your standout moments from the Friday were?
Ooh. The standout moments for the first day were, I think, the first standout thing was shock and awe. Just, this thing is freaking huge. Yeah. And I think we spent a lot of Friday shopping.
I think, that day was shopping day. So basically, when we got there on the Thursday, we were getting emails and notifications that certain titles had been sold out straight away.
Yeah, straight away, yeah.
What sort of peeved me off, because basically on the Thursday, you had all the YouTubers, all the media people that worked in media were allowed to have their copies of certain titles.
Yeah.
So when certain things were sold out, we were like really getting aggravated about this. We felt this was a bit unfair, considering how lots of these companies are meant to have these massive titles, only put certain amounts, and then they said Friday and Saturday would only be less than 25 or so copies. So there's no chance in hell you're getting it.
Yeah, a lot of companies have problems getting stuff in there. Sorry, Anne.
No, sorry. So my standout moment for Friday was actually getting a copy of what I wanted. There was one specific game I wanted, along with Wayne.
Yep.
And I think for both of us, that was our standout moment for Friday, was just to get that. That was the first thing we did, wasn't it?
Yes.
Run to that stand and just go get it. Then we can just relax, do the rest of whatever we wanted.
Yeah, we had a number one item on the agenda to buy, and went and grabbed those. And at the same time, I went and ran to the Dice Tower stand, because that was another highlight. Is I got to meet Tom Vassell and the team and all of that. For those folks, you may know them. And I queued up to get tickets into their event.
The show.
They had a little show on the Friday afternoon, which was a limited ticketed event that you had to queue up for. So I went to the Dice Tower stand and went to the CG stand to get the games, and I got the tickets successfully. So that's absolutely a highlight, was meeting the Dice Tower crew, getting those tickets, getting those games, and getting our shopping done for sure. But yeah.
Nice. Well, I have actually got a question later on based on your purchases, so we'll save that.
We'll save that.
Build up the anticipation to find out what you guys actually bought here. But
I don't know if you've got a question about availability, but it was quite surprising that how many, I suppose it would be American publishers, I'm not sure, but quite a few publishers had problems just getting stock in.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to talk about availability per se, but looking into things today, there seemed to be a lot of publishers that really struggled either getting product through into the country or clear customs in time. I know.
Yep.
There wasn't just one. There was a couple, but some actually managed to get it through for the Saturday.
Yeah,
so it wasn't too bad. But if you wanted a specific game, then it would have been an issue. Yeah,
it would have been a problem. If you came there on one day for one game and you couldn't get it, dang, you'd be annoyed.
And this is the issue, because we bumped into people that came from all the way from Australia. Could you imagine doing that and then going, it was sold out, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Such a bummer, man. It's just...
Yeah, that would suck. Suck real bad.
You got to kind of feel sorry for a lot of the publishers as well, like that.
Yeah.
That it hasn't managed to work out, because now they're going to have to ship all of those games back.
Lost out a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
There's a lot of money that they will have lost out on.
Absolutely. And of course, one or two games, regardless of the amount of stock, just freaking went because they were so popular. People wanted those games and they were the thing. It feels like every year there's like a thing that's the popular thing, and those games went, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's obviously your personal highlights for Friday. What about Saturday? The quote unquote busiest day of the Spiel.
Yeah, the Saturday highlights. Okay. Me and the Board Stupid team, we got, and Anna actually got to talk to a few publishers. So Saturday was kind of a little bit of an interview day. We got to speak to Portal Games, and that was great. And we'll have loads of news on that. We saw, a personal highlight for me was we saw a super secret project that we can't talk about yet.
Nice.
But that was great being part of that and seeing a little bit of sort of insider media industry stuff, which was really cool and something I didn't expect to happen. But Saturday, another big highlight for me was the Rebellion Unplugged stand then.
Oh, yeah.
When we got to play Joyride.
Yeah. Joyride. You'll love that, dude.
Nice.
Honestly.
This is a game that's it's not out yet. We played a prototype of it.
Yes.
And Rebellion Unplugged are the folks that did the Sniper Elite board game and the recently released Judge Dredd game. Board Stupid broke the news about that about 5 months ago. And then we got to, thank you. And then, we got to play Joyride, their newest one, and it's freaking blast. It's great. It's like Destruction Derby.
It's Mad Max meets Mario Kart.
Max meets Mario Kart. It was great fun. Yeah, really great fun. That was my personal highlight. And speaking to those guys too. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. How about you, Ant? About the same?
I've got two for Saturday. So basically, the first one was meeting celebrities. So first off, I got to meet a few YouTubers. Lincoln and Nikki from Board Game Geek.
Yep.
Really nice guys. Those guys have made me buy so many board games in my hobby time with this. They got me into Dune Imperium. They got me into Marvel United. So to actually stand and talk with them, there was really nice people to like. Thanks for your support, and was happy to have a photo. But we managed to have a photo with a Monopoly stand behind us, so Lincoln's actually going boo in the photo.
That's the background, yeah.
So that was really good. Obviously, we got to meet a couple of guys from Dice Tower. I got to meet Z, which I wanted to do. There was no Rodney Smith, so I was a bit gutted by that.
Maybe next time.
I was looking for Monique and Naveed. I couldn't find them for love nor money.
Yeah.
But then I also got to meet the creators of Lost Ruins of Arnak, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
That was nice to see them get this signed, get my copy signed. I bought the expansion out there, which was the last copy I could find anywhere. So that was good to talk to them for a little bit as well. But my second favorite day, and I had to thank Wayne for this because he didn't have to come with me, but he did, was to play the upcoming season 3 of Cuthulu Death May Die.
Oh yeah, so I had a feeling because I'd heard that was coming, and then I think it was officially announced that it was going to be
the
at
day
Spiel, and I
before
was like,
Spiel.
I know at least one thing that all these guys are going to be doing while they're out there.
Yeah, well, the other two weren't too bothered, but Wayne really wanted to he played the game a while ago, but wanted to get back into it. And we were playing with this random dude as well. I need to find out it was the guy who produced the game in the end.
Oh wow,
didn't even know that at all. Did not even know it. But it was a good round. It was quite intense. Your dice rolling, dude. It's really good.
It was amazing. I rolled some ridiculous
one health and he
dice.
rolled some ridiculous hits. Is that real?
Yeah, it was. That was, to be fair, I almost completely forgot, but that was a great highlight. Playing with Guillermo, who is the producer of season
Such
3.
a nice guy as well.
Lovely guy, and he was teaching everyone, and he was awesome. And that was an absolute blast. Really, really good. One more as well for the Saturday was we actually demoed, even though you'd already bought it, we demoed Heat.
Yes,
and Heat.
That was Saturday. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll come to that later. But we demoed that, and it was freaking good.
We literally saw an open table and go, run!
Yeah, run, go get it. And that thing sold us. That was like hotcakes. It sold out. Sold out day one. Got new stock in. That sold out as well.
Yeah. I heard that was one of the hottest tickets.
Because I went to go get it and it sold out, and that's when they customs have released it, and I went literally Friday afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I went and grabbed a copy when I could.
That's Days of Wonder, isn't it?
That's Days of Wonder.
Which ultimately does show you that even the big boys get stuck with this kind of stuff. Just because they're a huge company doesn't mean they're going to get it in the country in time.
Yeah, exactly.
No one is immune from sort of customs and import BS, and they got caught with it as well. So but Heat is amazing, and I'm kind of, if I'd have bought it, I would have immediately had to sort of sell Downforce probably, because it does similar things, but probably does them better. I think it's very good.
Well, okay,
it's a more
interesting.
It's a more complex game than Downforce, though. To be fair, so I think they occupy different spaces.
Yeah,
but I really enjoyed Heat. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to trying that. I must be honest. That was one of the ones that stuck out to me in the pictures that you put up of your
the horde,
your gaming hall, and I was like, right, I can see multiple games here that I want to play, but that one was sort of play me.
Yes.
Play me now.
Yes, play me
now, Jason.
just one more thing. When I met the guys of Lost Ruins of Arnak, they showed us there was going to be another expansion. Didn't
That's right. So exclusive.
They couldn't talk about it. All they could say was when it was coming out, wasn't it? It was so annoying.
Exclusive news. Yeah, Lost Ruins of Arnak.
The box is right there. Just tell me. It's like, no, sorry.
No, sorry.
So this is where you find out it'll be like a mini expansion with like 3 cards in it or something like that.
Well, no, because it made me laugh because I kept asking them about it, and they were like, no. How about some free promo cards? I was like, woo, promo cards. And then that was it, gone.
Yes, I will take your promo cards. Now I've got the promo cards. Now
tell me, yeah. So yeah, that was good.
Awesome. That sounds like you had a good day on the Saturday as well.
I was going to say, all I'm getting from this is that I need to take a stick with me when I go. Tell me.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to take, like a little cattle prod or something.
Tell me news.
Tell me now.
Yeah, because we couldn't get anything out of the CMON guy, could we? He was just like, no, it's coming soon.
Yeah,
coming
soon. Yeah, Guillermo was just, we're like, when's season 3 coming? Soon.
Yeah, I was like, good answer.
Good answer.
Not the right answer.
Yeah, good answer.
Very good. Well, I guess we should talk about the penultimate day, which is Sunday.
Oh, yeah, I suppose the ultimate day. The final day. A couple of highlights for me on the Sunday. One of them, well, the most immediate one that I can think of is we got to see and speak to a independent publisher / designer called The Dark Omen, and that game looks unbelievable. I mean, it does some really unique things that I've not seen before in games. And we had a great chat with them, and that's, we got some content on the channel about that, and it looks fascinating. So that's coming to Kickstarter probably Q1, maybe April next year. So look out for that. It looks really brilliant, and by all accounts, people were raving about it after they played it. So that was definitely a highlight for me. And then what else have I even got on here? Yes, I got to have a sneak peek demo of the prototype of the Fox experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Elizabeth Hart. Yeah. That's
Elizabeth Hargrave's new game based on the Russian fox breeding program.
That's right, the Russian fox breeding experiment / program to domesticate foxes.
Yep.
And Pandasaurus production. Me and Tom got to play it, and it's bloody good. Yeah. It's bloody good to the point where I was like, I should have backed that. It's absolutely
that was
brilliant.
a game I didn't even back, because I sort of looked at it and it had like the Wingspan effect for me. Like when I first saw Wingspan, I was like, I'm not really interested in that.
It's
and
brilliant.
I should have known. It's the same designer, the same issue in my mind. Why did I not ignore my mind and go, no, you were wrong before, you're wrong again?
The production, even on the prototype, which I imagine is a near final prototype, was immaculate. The game is fast-paced, it's simultaneous play, it's superb. The only issue I can really think of off the top of my head is there is so much simultaneous play that there's no sort of cross-checking of what folks are doing, and so if you make a mistake, no one really knows, you just sort of just do stuff. But the game is a blast. Certainly worth a go, for sure. But yeah, that was my highlights for Sunday. And you had a wild and wacky day Sunday.
Whilst they were busy interviewing, I was actually going around playing games because I didn't play much. So I got to play a game that's now it's not on Kickstarter till March next year, was it, or something?
It's coming soon, yeah.
Yeah, called Terrascape.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the game Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
But with a massive mansion between survivors and killers. So survivors one end of the table, killer one end the other. And it's kind of like a beefed up battleship game, if you will. Like
it's a not a hidden role. It's a hidden movement one versus many game, or a team versus team game where you've got killers versus survivors, and they're trying to escape the mansion, like in Dead by Daylight.
Pretty much.
And the production on that game looks nuts.
It's sick.
It looks absolutely
like literally
sick.
the mansion's in front of you.
It's like a big cardboard mansion that's the box.
Yep, it holds your cards on the top, and on the other end of it, it's a dice tower. Nice. So it all connects into one. But it's not the best of games to play with a face mask on.
No.
Because I was literally the killer when I played it, and I'm like, where's Conroy? Are you there? Over this massive mansion thing that's covering up my vision or my sound.
With a bunch of other people
and they're like,
playing around you.
What? Yeah. It's just, that was the only annoyance to it. It's better to play without a face mask. But got to play a couple of it. 3,000 Scoundrels I got to play, which is really good. Short, but very good. Feed the Kraken, which I love and bought straight away afterwards. That was such a good game. And a couple others, I can't remember what else I played. I did play something else.
We played a bunch of stuff.
Played so much stuff on Sunday. I kind of felt bad because you guys were going around interviewing and there's me playing stuff.
We played plenty. We played absolutely plenty. So, but yeah, that Terrascape looks great. Definitely worth a look if you like those sort of hidden movement, one versus many or team versus team games. It's one to watch, if only because the production looks nuts. So yeah.
Okay.
We also got to play Airmail.
That's
right
it.
At the
That's
end.
it. Right at the end.
That was a brand new release. Released at Spiel. It's another one. It's a dry Euro theme. It was just a cracking time. Like a really, really good,
interesting model with the cards that go around and stuff.
Yeah, really smart design, and it again does things that I haven't seen before, or at least not in the combination that I've seen. It's essentially like, I don't know if anyone's ever played Pan Am, but you are competing airmail companies. Essentially, as dry as that sounds, the game is super fun. You have these really clever sort of, they called them domino cards, which had two colours sort of split in half, like a red and green card or a blue and yellow card. And you would play them, and that would determine what action you could do and where on the board you can do your stuff. Really, really smart, really clever design. And I can imagine with more plays could be quite ruthless with people taking other people's routes and stuff like that. Really, really good.
Excellent.
Cool. Right. So we know you bought some stuff, which we will get on into in a sec. But were there any games that you wanted but missed out on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Games and play mats.
Play mat stuff. Yeah. One that I suppose we as a wider group missed out on was the Wolves. That sold out in like 2 seconds.
That was the one that sold out on Thursday.
Like, if anything was like the hot ticket, Heat was the hot ticket, but also the Wolves just freaking went. I mean, in seconds, people were nabbling that thing up. Simon got to play test it a little bit. He immediately loved it and went, "Yep, if we could buy that, we would, but you can't."
Yeah.
But so we won't. One that was immediately at the top of my list because it was a really cool, interesting theme was Lacrimosa, and that was like the most anticipated game of the event. It was like everyone was wanted that. The production is insane. It looks beautiful. Really interesting theme. Really great mechanisms. Good, solid Euro. Gone day one. Couldn't get another one. So, those two, at least from the top of my head, were the things I really wanted, but we couldn't get, sadly.
Oh dear.
I kind of really wanted a copy of Heat, but they were all sold out after Ant bought his. So I was like, anyway, that was me.
Well, the English ones anyway.
English ones, yeah, exactly.
There was a game I was after, which I mentioned on Wayne's podcast a couple months ago, was a game called Sea of Legends.
Okay, yeah.
The issue was I'd already bought so much stuff. This box is beefy. There was no way this was going to get in hand luggage or checked luggage.
Yeah.
So I had to drop that out, which is unfortunate because that was one I really wanted. They also had a copy of The Witcher, which isn't actually released yet.
Wow.
Which I could have got, but I thought, no, I'll come back. And the only one they had was actually the one they had on display, which got sold as soon as someone realised that was the only copy. So that was a shame. There was a couple of playmats I wanted, which I should have gone back and got. I'm kind of kicking myself over it now. There are a couple I can't remember off the top of my head. My gaming crew really wanted me to grab the thing. The thing was out there, the board game.
Yeah.
Again, I was just worried about space at the end because it got to a point where I was just like, do I have room for this? I could buy it essentially, but it was just a case of getting it home was the issue. And I don't want to keep asking these guys for spare room if they had it. It was a bit of a nuisance. So
I guess that's something to really bear in mind, especially if people are planning on doing it, and I'll have to bear this in mind next year, is when you are planning to go there from, let's say, from the UK where we're from, is it best to fly out there, or is it best to hop on the Eurostar and actually, get a train over there and not have to worry about that whole, well, I've got to get it all in my hand luggage and put it on here, or I have to pay exorbitant amounts for airline storage, whereas I could just take two massive suitcases with me on a train.
Yeah.
Yep, that's totally legit. I mean, people could drive there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally legit as well. I mean, the flying was fine. I mean, I have a large, solid suitcase. So if you are flying, definitely get a hard shell case for sure. Make sure it's as big as it can be and make sure it's completely empty when you check it in. Just come back with games and you'd be fine. I mean, just make sure you don't buy anything super heavy. There was a game I might even have bought there called Burn Cycle by Chip Theory Games.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Dude. That game, Jesus.
It's a workout. It's picking that thing up, but if it was in the UK, I may have picked it up.
Right.
Having to fly that home, I was like,
No chance.
No, absolutely not. So I think depends on your budget, depends on what equipment and gear and luggage that you have. Might depend on what you want to do and how you want to get there. But flying was the quickest. We were down before we even realised
40
we
minutes?
took off.
40 minutes, if that?
It was so quick. I was like, oh yeah, we'll play Gansh and Cleverov, show Ant how it works. And like, we're halfway through the game, like, we're landing now. I was like, it was no time at all. So flying there is the quickest by far and most comfortable. And if you've got decent luggage, your games will be fine.
I just trying to picture now, trying to play Gang Sean Clever on a plane. It's just like playing banks and dice. Just what?
No, it's
Did anyone see what that orange is?
It was definitely a 6.
No, it's fine. Just roll the dice in the box. That's what the box is for.
Yeah, because you had to teach Simon it, didn't you?
That's like, I taught the both of you at the same time, actually. So, but it was great. We only got halfway through it. 40-minute flight. Worth doing.
Got to round 3 and
thanks
we're
to this
landing.
gentleman here, I now have the app-based version of that.
Is that right?
Every time I get like 5 minutes at work, it's just, come on, I'm going to beat that one.
And by design, you can blame me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the blame game continues. But yeah, Gansh and Clever was great, but we didn't even get through it. That's how quick a flight is over there. So
I think we've built up the anticipation enough. What games did you buy, Wayne? What did you spend your money on?
should we do one each? We'll do one each.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's in fact, and I'll start with you first. You bought like twice as many as me. so you do one, then I'll do one, then you do one, then I'll
Are we
do one.
including expansions?
No,
in this
before-
one?
No, just base
Just the
games.
game.
Before you start that, you say you bought more than you. Is that because it was his first con? Because I know when we were at UKG, you did buy quite a bit. Or in fact, all of you did.
Yeah, but no, because I got lucky because half of my stuff was sold out.
Oh, okay, there you go. Then.
It was he was sold out, or he wasn't sure about the game, so he wanted to demo it.
I wanted to
couldn't
demo it
quite
first.
demo it.
Yeah, exactly. It was either that or I couldn't sit down to play it. So Yeah, it was one of those two things. Either there was no demo table available, or it was sold out. One of those two things.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Right, let's go for it, Ant. What did you buy?
So the first one was, which I wanted for the show, that we went straight away for, was Deal with the Devil. That was the one I wanted to come back from Spiel for.
I think this is the one that James is quite interested in as well, from what I've been telling him.
The only downside is you have to have 4 players regardless, wasn't it?
It's a 4-player only
game. So, yeah.
Which I think is fine from a design perspective. If a designer wants to go, this game is best at 4, then fine. Why should they feel obliged to have to go, oh, maybe this game also has to play 2, 3, 4 and have a solo mode and have a 6-player mode?
Yeah.
I think what you get then is arguably a less concise design framework than if you say, I know that I want a game at 4 players, let's optimize it for 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to play it.
Yes, same.
And it has like an app as well.
Yeah, app companion, which needs to have, because I was looking at some of the cards that got barcodes on them and stuff. So yeah, there's going to need a few scans.
And the whole theme is amazing.
Yeah.
Selling your soul for money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just great.
There's a reason this game appeals to me as well.
Yeah,
it's definitely up your street.
Yeah, it's like you got hidden roles and the devil tempting you, and like, you know.
I'm gonna suck at this. Sell me your soul. Cool. There you go.
How much do you want? 4K, fine. Yeah, but that's a good one.
Yeah, that's my first purchase.
Nice.
My first one, I'm going to stay at the CGE stand, and it was the number one thing on my list, and it was Starship Captains. That's what I went to the thing for, to buy day one. And I could have got it when I got home, but I wanted it there to play there as part of my whole Spiel experience, to buy something on launch day.
I don't believe it's actually out here yet, though.
I think so.
So yeah, that was going to be one of the games I was going to get you guys to get me, but you
just text me.
I was going to, but the car.
Oh, okay.
The car is still broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Until I know how much that's going to cost me.
No. I understood.
No more games.
Understood. So got that. We played it the Friday night.
We did, yeah.
So we bought it Friday, played it Friday night, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. I think it's brilliant.
Yep, that definitely sounds like a game that I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, James.
It's a lot of fun.
You're a bit of a Trekkie fan as well, aren't you?
Yep.
So
it's amazing, dude. I mean, yeah, it does some really smart things. It's definitely a Euro game, don't get me wrong, and it is really cool, but it has some great combos that you can do with technologies that you can upgrade your ship with. You're going on adventures and you're doing missions with your crew. And then, you can change what type of crew you want to focus on. Do you want like a science crew, or do you want a more like adventure-y, fighty crew? Really, really cool. Do you want pirates that you can fight? Brilliant game. We had a blast with it. We'll do a review of it at some point. But yeah, that was my number one thing to buy. And we got it and chuffed
Played it, loved it.
Played it, loved it. Yeah.
Nice.
My second one was A Great Split.
Oh, another hot game. For
yes.
Yes.
Which managed to get signed by the artist as well, which is pretty
lovely.
good.
He did some artwork for you as well in the
He
box.
drew some artwork in there, and then he put my name down as Andor. As Antony. It clearly says A-N-T-O-N-Y. Oh, sorry. So my name's in thick black writing to cover over the Andor. But no, he was a really cool guy. I said Mario work, whatnot, the artwork, and he was just a really cool guy, nice to talk to. I love the mechanics of the game with the whole wallet passing and trying to tempt people to take either the certain types of riches. I think that's such a great idea.
It's I split, you choose.
That's right.
Mechanism.
Yeah.
So you're giving someone you've got like, I suppose, a hand of cards, and in between the hand of cards, you're going to put like a divider or something
That's
like
right.
that. Mm-hmm. And you're going to pass that over to the person on your left, and also a hand of cards to the person on your right. Mm-hmm. So you're playing both sides. And they're going to look at that hand of cards and go, well, if I take these things that he's offered me, I'm going to leave him these things that he really needs.
They're going to benefit him, yeah.
So maybe I just screw him and take the things that he really needs, and I'll give him back the stuff that he's trying to tempt me with.
Was he making me pick that?
Or is he making me pick that? Because, so all lots of double bluffy stuff. And it plays 7 players, I think.
Up to 7, yeah.
It looks amazing.
It looks fun, yeah.
It's super fun, and is by Horrible Guild,
yeah.
who also did King's Dilemma and also did Railroad Inc. They are on a bit of a high. And the designers I 100% trust on giving a good giving a good game. So I'm dead keen to play that.
Same.
Nice.
And says a game, and I talk for 10 minutes about it. I'm sorry.
That's fine, mate. No, it's fine.
This is really good. I really like it.
It goes to show you want to play it as much as I do.
Right. The thing is, though, all of the games that we bought, we all already kind of knew something about.
Yeah.
Because we did a preview episode and everything. We did some research and they all looked sweet as hell. So the second one I bought was one that I was thinking about backing at the time it was on Kickstarter, but I didn't. But I saw it for an amazing price, and that's Human Punishment: The Beginning.
Okay.
And this, oh boy, it is a big box cyberpunk social deduction game. And it looks freaking sweet. So you've basically got humans, and then you've got the machines. Then you've got maybe some other tertiary roles like Legion, who are trying to infect the other players to become Legion. So you're all Legion by so there's like these three main roles that are working against each other. And then in a bigger player count, you've got like a independent who's trying to be the last person alive, basically. But it combines social deduction mechanisms with like a pick up and deliver type thing.
Yeah.
So you're trying to essentially get chips and information from and upgrades from a market and carry them to the mainframe. And if you are the machines, you're trying to infect the mainframe with viruses.
Oh,
and you're trying to work towards unleashing, I can't remember what it's called, but there's some like super bad virus that will then come onto the board and then start fighting the rest of the players. Really freaking sweet. It has an amazing production. It has these beautiful acrylic standees which look absolutely stunning. I actually bought an upgrade for it, which are these poker chips that you talked about that weighed a freaking ton. These are like these like metal core, like poker chips, like proper poker chips that replace all of the cardboard components.
Yeah.
So I bought that as well. And I got that for like 80 quid. The base game is £50. And if you look at the production of that,
it looks like 100 odd quid.
It looks like
box.
looks like £100 box.
The Nemesis box is
yeah,
crazy.
It looks like £100 box for just the base game.
Nice.
And I got that plus like the crazy upgrade, which was totally unnecessary. But I was like, well, it's that plus that for that. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'm dead keen to play that. 3 to 6 players, all of those things that I like. Social deduction, sort of pick up and deliver, deduction as well. And yeah, it should be super fun times. And cyberpunk. Yeah.
Nice. Sounds like a really good game.
Yep.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Vroom, vroom.
It's heat.
It's heat, baby.
He's bought heat. Awesome. Wayne, what's your next?
Yeah, Days of Wonders heat. It was really good. It's a lot of fun. Took some while for me to get used to what we had to do because it's not as easy as just placing a card like Downfall.
Downforce.
You've got Downfall, sorry, beg your pardon. You've got play cards, but then you've got 9 steps at the top of your thing to follow. Like you've got to do this, you've got to do that.
Yep.
You can do this, you can do that. I like the fact that it's only 2 roads side by side one another throughout the whole maps.
Yeah.
Through I think with Downforce it's only 1 lap. With Heat it's 2.
Yep.
We can change gear in this one as well, can you?
Yep, you're up gearing and down gearing, and you don't get in each other's way. I think in Downforce, the principal mechanism is maneuvering the cars in such a way as to block others, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of it. Heat's not really that. It's go as fast as you can without
apart from certain corners.
without nailing into the corner at like full speed because
So for me, from what I've seen from Heat and from definitely the way you guys have described it, it sounds like it's the nice step between Downforce and like Formula D, which,
possibly,
you're gearing up, gearing down. You can't go past round corners over this speed, otherwise you spin out and crash and and all of that. But it's a real slog fest. Like you can do a 3-lap race in Formula D in the same time that a real Formula 1 race does an entire race.
Right? No, it still has a sense of pace. I mean, we played a lap in probably half an hour. Maybe 45 minutes.
Because we played with a couple of German people that were like couldn't get to grips with the rules at start. Because it is a lot to take in first thing for a simple put your car down.
Yeah.
How many gears can I go up in this without taking heat and all that sort of stuff. So as long as you nailed that and nailed the 9 steps that show you at the top, then it'll be.
That's a really smart mechanism, right? You've got basically 3 stacks of cards in your player area. You've got your draw pile, you've got your discard pile, and then in the middle you've got your heat cards. And you can gun it into the corner, but you have to then discard heat cards from the center of your board into your discard area. So you're like heating your engine because you're pushing it to the limit. But when you run out of those, there's a penalty. So it's really fascinating. And then you've got these, I can't remember what the other cards were called. They're the little plus symbol. Anyway, there was those stress cards. Stress cards, yeah. When you're stressing the car, they're kind of unpredictable effects. If you've only got a handful of stress cards, you're drawing from your draw pile to see what your total speed will be, which is terrifying when you're right near a corner and all you've got is stress cards because you don't know how fast you're going to hit the corner.
Exactly.
And if you've run out of heat cards to slow down, you're like, bang. And so bang. It's really, really clever design. Days of Wonder do like 1 game a year, and it's always great. And they really put the time into the production. We got to play the base game, whatever the normal out of the box game that there is of Heat. But in the box, there's a whole like advanced version you can play. There's
weather conditions.
Weather conditions. There's championship rules. There's all sorts. So if you want to level up the game a bit and have a more intense, sort of heavier experience, you can do that
like
too.
An advanced championship.
You can have an advanced. Yeah, there's advanced rules and everything. It's
kind of cool that they've included all of that in the box rather than sort of like, oh, you want a more in-depth game?
Yeah.
Cool, expansion.
They could have done that, but they've actually got 4 courses in the box as well.
Yeah, this is it. But then it can play up to 8. You only get 6 cars with you. So I don't know if that's a case of an expansion is coming, or you can take 2 cars from someone else's copy. I don't know. But then you've got the same colours as the other one. So I assume it'll be an expansion within the next 6 months or so, maybe.
Yeah,
but that was a good one.
Good. Another brand new game. So yeah, I'd expect an expansion.
Yeah, and sold out. It was the thing, and it's really good.
Nice. Wayne.
Last one. I only bought 3. I'm very surprised at my own restraint. I bought, and it was right up the top of my list of my anticipated games. And again, this sold out by day 3, and it was Endless Winter, Paleo Americans.
Oh, yes.
And so this is a beautiful game. It's the same artist as Raiders of the North Sea, the Miko.
Which we actually played.
We did actually.
Thursday,
it took that long, and we played that Thursday night before Spiel started to get everyone in the mood. Bloody good game that.
It is
actually.
It's a very, very good game.
So Endless Winter Paleo Americans does some things that I really like in board games. It combines worker placement with like a deck building mechanism, like games like Dune Imperium do, like games like Lost Ruins of Arnak do. It does some really smart other stuff as well. You're having to use your cards as resources. You're having to use your cards to place your figures on the board and create and enact their effects. It has a very tight, what looks like a very tight engine. You are placing sort of little igloos, I guess. That's right. And it has the most amazing sort of game tray production. The production is top notch, screen printed meeples, little Chief plastic minis, and a beautiful, they call it the iceberg, but their game trays holder for all of the stuff, little player pouches, just a magical production, beautiful artwork. It's right up my street, solid Euro, theme-heavy Euro hybrid, which we've talked about a few times.
Yep.
Fits right into my collection. I cannot wait to play it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
One more from me, apart from expansions and playmats.
Okay.
We tried to play this on the Saturday, but it was too busy. But I got to play it Sunday morning, which was Feed the Kraken. Really, really good game. You'll love this, dude. Social Deduction Pirates. It is the best ever.
I've been looking into Feed the Kraken. However, I've not actually talked to James about this one yet. So would you like to tell us what the game
very
is about?
quickly, it's literally, you have a minimum of players is 5 in this game. Cool. And it plays up to 11. Okay,
it's a big game.
So big map. 2 ends of it. Blues need to get to there, which are normal pilots, and then you got pirates need to strike it to the red side of the board. And in the middle, you got this massive kraken where someone is a cultist in the group, in the crew, should I say? And his goal is to get there, but there's only one of them. Okay, but you can have as many pirate sailors, even to the number of players. You have little chips, have little bags. Show your identity, you don't show anyone else what it is. And it's just a case of like drawing cards and then you're voting to which way you go on the map. Do you go to the blue side, do you go to the pirate side, do you go for the Kraken? So this is what I love about this, is that it's when you put your cards in, the captain shows and then they pick a card. And then it goes around as to like, well, what card did you have? Did you have red or blue? Did you have a yellow card for cultists? Did you have blue for pilots? And you've got to try and you make up what you want to say, but it's a case of whether people believe you or not.
Yep.
And what I love about this game is that you've got this massive Kraken on the board and he's got 2 tentacles either end of the board. If your ship manages to go to one of the tentacles, you have to kill someone. Someone has to die. So you have to basically vote. You have to go through mutinies and everything to change captains. And this is what I love about this. If you're the cultist, because obviously you're trying to get to the Kraken to win the game, if you sacrifice the cultist to the Kraken, the cultist wins straight away.
So the cultist wants to be sacrificed to the Kraken. So he's got an even bigger advantage.
So he'd be like, well, I'll sacrifice myself.
Go, yeah.
Oh yeah, but you could be such and such. You could be this and that. That's what I love about this. It's just social deduction in the thick of it with a massive Kraken trying to take down your boat at the same time.
And now you see why this game is up my street.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The components for it are really good. The captain's logbooks, the navigator post, the lieutenant post and everything. It's really good if you buy the deluxe edition of it. But yeah, I'm so glad I got to play it. I really had a cracking... I played with 6... No, it's a lie.
You had a cracking time.
I had a cracking time with 7 people where this random German-Chinese guy was... he's definitely the cultist. And he ended up being a pilot all the way through. It was just like... completely thrown off through that. But it's such a great time. I highly recommend it if you get 5 or more players for it.
The demo tables were rammed.
Yes,
all
they
weekend.
were.
Absolutely rammed for that game. And it looked a ball. Walking past it, everyone's got their hands out doing stuff and doing voting.
The mutiny thing.
The mutiny,
That's
yeah.
so good, that mechanic.
Yeah, it looks wicked.
This is going to be a game I think we need to get all of the podcast crews to get
Absolutely.
to play this.
We'll have so much fun with it, dude. Honestly, you'll love it, James.
We'll get that
Awesome.
arranged.
Can we quickly honourably mention some of the things that we didn't buy, but our friends bought?
Please do.
Tom bought Hamlet, which was
Yes,
another...
which we played as well.
We played. It was another heavily anticipated game pre-event, and it's great. It's a really thinky Euro game that does, again, really smart stuff. I mean, brilliant design, really unusual. It's like a tile placement game. You're building a village together, a hamlet.
Yeah.
With the idea being you're working together, inverted commas, to build the church.
As if.
Yeah, and when the church is built, the game ends. But at the same time, you also want to have your own little vanity projects. Maybe I want to build a statue over here. And actually, no, I want to build a park. I want to build a pub. So I'm going to build a pub over there. And so when you've got some folks that are trying to, build the church like good citizens, you've got, me over here creating a bunch of sort of grain and flour and then immediately using it so no one else can have it to build my vanity pub. Because victory points for me. So a really, really cool game. It has just enough of tension between players, but not so competitive as to be take thatty.
Yeah.
It's just a very thinky Euro and has some really clever mechanisms about where you put your donkeys, your supply line, because the game mostly focuses around getting materials from point A to point B and how you lay out your supply chain to get them there. Exactly. Yeah. And always remember, if you're confused about the rules, the first suck is free.
That's it. Always remember that first suck is free.
First suck is free.
When
you play it, that'll make sense.
I want to mention Tom bought Vengeance, Roll 'em Right.
Yes, he did.
Which was a cracking game. I really, really liked the mechanics of that. Think of the movie The Raid, but as a Roll 'em Right.
Oh, nice.
That was really good. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm glad he bought it as well because I'm an RN.
Yeah, it's a roll and write, but I think the sort of action scenes from your favourite
like John Wick
Woo
movie,
movies.
Yeah.
John Wick movie. And all of that on action montage. It's kind of that. And it has a really clever simultaneous dice rolling mechanism, kind of like Project Elite, but competitive. So if you're faster than your opponents, you're rolling more dice than them and stealing more dice from the central pool, which is quite fun. And then Simon bought Oak.
Yes.
Which I know little about.
I don't know much about it,
other than it looks cool as hell. Its production is amazing, actually, to be fair. And as far as I'm aware, it is a worker placement style game in that beautiful setting. When it has this really cool feature, it has these sort of meeples with modular hats or bits that you can put on them.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, so there's like a cape and then there's like a raven that you can put on the meeples and other bits, and that will influence what actions they can do or how well they can do the actions. So if you put your common or garden standard meeple in the sort of raven area, they might be able to do a thing. But if he's like the raven master and you put the raven on them, they'll have a much more effective action. So, and how you get those things is supposedly quite clever. But it looks great. Keen to play that too.
James,
now that you guys are both experienced Essen Spiel, what advice would you have for other people who are maybe going for the first time? Any must-dos and don'ts?
That's a great question. And I think having slept on it and sort of processed the event, there's definitely things I would do differently. I think Saturday, probably avoid, because it is busy as all hell. I mean, unless that's what you want to do. I mean, I say that knowing that part of the enjoyment of my experience was the craziness of Saturday, right? But if you want to sit down and demo a lot of games, that's not the day for you. No. So plan what you want to do accordingly. Pick probably the Thursday or the Sunday for your demoing. Make sure you get there on Thursday if you want to buy it. If there's something specific you want, go Thursday.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, don't give up too much that you're going to find this exact thing here, because expect disappointment. It's like Simon. Simon would have bought so much more, but half the games he wanted just weren't there.
Yep, he was sold out, gone.
Like, I think he bought 2 games in the end, but the fact, he probably would have bought as much as I would have if his games weren't sold out. So my advice is don't thinking that you're going to find, because there was other things I wanted that was already out that wasn't there. And I thought for such a big, gaming expo sort of thing, the fact that some was, again, not in my language, which was another issue, being in Germany. But yeah, just don't focus on one specific thing and think, I'll get it from here, because it's quite possible.
Yeah, luckily we had quite a broad list of things that we wanted.
Yeah.
And I think, if there's something that you do want, go on the Thursday, get there early. So definitely that would be the first bit of advice. Know what you want to play. Know what you want to demo, because some publishers would only do demos if you signed up in advance.
Yes.
So there was Voidfall was a good example of that. Big production from Mind Clash Games. All of their games, if you wanted to play any of them, you'd have to go there first thing in the morning and put your name down.
Yeah.
And then they put you on a list to go and have a table that you can play with. So bear that in mind. Some publishers will do that. Other tip, don't try and park directly at Essen, the complex. There is no point. There's like 5 or 6 car parks within a 2 or 3 minute walk.
If that.
We parked on one of those every day and we just walked across over a bridge and we're there in 2 or 3 minutes. It was really we saw loads of people just queuing to park in one of the underground ones.
Why?
Yeah, and I know quite a few of my friends that went, they were using the public transport out there, which again is apparently really, really good. The German
tram station,
Metro,
tram,
or Metro, whatever it is, that there is a station on site. So even if you're staying nearby in Essen, the city, or I think is it Dusseldorf that's close? I can't.
Dusseldorf is close.
You know, they're all connected.
Rattingen,
by rail
that's also
within
close.
about 10 minutes. So that's an option as well.
Absolutely an option. Take some bags with you, either like one of those big IKEA blue bags or something like that, because quite a lot of the indie publishers, if you find something you like, they might not have any bags. They'll just be like, either they've gone or they didn't bring any.
Yeah.
So they'll just give you the box and you're like, okay.
Yeah, now I've got to carry this around.
I know for someone like me, the other advice that I can give, because I know this for a fact, is that you're not allowed to wear the backpack.
The
bags.
the Cajun or Cajon backpack. Yeah, you can't take those because of safety reasons. But then you see families, wheeling these massive carts of games around. Like,
people were using their kids' buggies or prams
and
to put ball games in.
Stacking them full of games. Like,
I kid you not, their newborn was on their shoulders whilst they're pushing this trolley full of
games.
It's unreal.
Dude. Not even kidding. Or like these giant, literal shopping carts.
Protecting the investment that they actually care about.
Other thing as well, legitimately, bring a fold-out chair. There is nowhere to bloody sit in that 7 halls of conference centre. If you're demoing a game, you're sitting down. If not, then you
good
are...
luck.
Yeah, good luck. You are crap out of luck. You are standing or having a concrete picnic. It's... Yeah.
I would say also on those grounds, and I'm going by the UK Games Expo here, but I've again heard this from good friends that go to Spiel quite a lot, and that is footwear.
Yeah.
Wear sensible,
comfortable
footwear
shoes
that you would happily go on a 20-mile hike in.
Yeah, man, we did like 15,000 steps a day. We're easily. Definitely do that. Be prepared to do a lot of standing. And take some water with you, because water is like €5 a bottle. Like, it is expensive. So take water with you.
Very hot, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and just be prepared. Like, don't, unless you want to spend a fortune, like half your gaming budget on drinks, just bring a couple of bottles of water and make sure, so you're not getting shafted by the
but literally on Saturday we brought our own picnic in the end, because
we did.
all the places were, I mean, it's obviously they're retail food stores and whatnot, but the prices
are really expensive.
I mean it's a con, we all know
it's captive market.
It's captive market. They always have Games Expo's the same. The food stalls in there they're very, very good. I wouldn't quibble on that, but they are expensive for location purposes.
Oh yeah, and definitely make sure you carve out some time to play the games that you've bought. That's why I think next year we will probably leave the Saturday and we'll still go on the Sunday, sorry, but we'll not go on the Saturday and just play the stuff that we bought all day Saturday, because I think that would be a great use of the time. Because unlike UKGE, which is in UKGE's favour, there's an entire hall of free play tables so you can go and play the stuff you've immediately bought. Just go sit down and play it. That doesn't exist at Spiel. It's all about the publishers. It's all about the games. If you want to play it, go home. Go and play
Which was weird, because they had an entire free hall.
Yeah.
They could have done that essentially, but they just
They just didn't do it.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, the organisers would have to pay for an additional hall in that sense. And obviously, if it's not something they're interested in, then
possibly
they don't care.
I think that's everything I could think of. Anything else from the top of your head?
No, you pretty much nailed it, mate. You pretty much said, like I said, about you don't pick a specific game, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, James, as someone who will be going to a con for the very first time next year, is there any particular questions you want to ask about what you should and shouldn't do?
How do I not blow my entire month's budget?
That's a great question, dude. You're asking the wrong guy.
Especially me. Don't
ask, Anne.
I have a credit card. Should I leave it at home?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. Oh, another thing. One more little tip there. Sorry. As you've just said that, bring cash.
Cash.
Some indies will not take credit cards, which is weird, or debit cards or whatever. I'd say most do. Let's call it 70-30, maybe 80-20 in terms of stalls that will take cards. But there were 2 that I went to, obviously the 2 games that I wanted, they didn't bloody take cards, so I had to pay cash.
Which was so weird because it was a big stand, official, like publisher, whatnot, but it just wouldn't take card for love no money.
Just
weird.
in general, actually, that's completely counter to my experience on the continent in general. It seems like cash is going out of favour.
Correct.
Well, it's it, yeah.
If here's the thing where it would be different and would be pertinent is if you wanted to get that game from a retailer and pay by card, you could, but it would probably be in German.
Yep.
Right, so that's the difficulty here, is if the publisher's going, I want cash only, for whatever reason that they want cash, you're kind of shafted, because you can't, there's no alternative option to buy that game if you want it in English.
Yeah.
So,
there's a couple I had to pay through PayPal. It was either cash or pay via PayPal. So that was a bit of a nuisance as well. It was something to do with conversion. If they had a credit, if you pay by card, it will go to US dollars, not euros, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was an issue.
But in terms of budgeting, just give yourself a fixed budget, dude, and try not to go over it. I mean, it's not like you're going to get lots of retailers who are going to fight for the best price. If you want games on release, which is part of the excitement of Spiel, like it's coming out now, probably 3 months or 6 months before it even goes to retail, and we're going to sell it for the RRP, the MSRP, which is going to be €60. Just budget for that. Know that you're going to be paying full price for the game.
Yep.
But part of that is you're getting it early.
Yep.
Yeah. You're paying the extra that you would save by buying it in your friendly local game store in order to get it early.
In order to get it early. And in fact, with the Euro conversion, it's not that bad.
No.
It's not that bad. And you save on shipping at least.
Nice. I'll have one more question before we wrap it up, because I think we've taken enough of your time. I already know the answer from you, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Would you do it again?
Oh, I'm going next year, dude. I'll see you there, bro. No, we already looked. I've already looked today on Airbnbs, and there is nothing, not reasonable, not for like a big group, which is what I wanted to do. They may come available, because what I think happens is people book 2-3 years in advance, because the dates are known, right?
Yep.
So people do that, they book, and then they will cancel it as it gets closer to the event. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on the available Airbnbs, if not in Essen, which is going to be impossible to find, I think, an actual Airbnb in Essen, just because they're going to be so popular, but just in the surrounding areas, like Krefeld, where we stayed, Dusseldorf, nearby, Rattingen, maybe on the other side as well. But yeah, definitely would go again. Would go next year. It was intense as all hell, but I'd go again. Of course I'd go, dude. It's like,
nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I figured you would. What about yourself, Ant? I know it's a bit tougher for
the
guys
me.
like us that have families, kids, draining our wallets every single month.
Is it. I mean, I'd like to. It's a year away. I'd say yes for now, but I'm not sure. It's a case of where I can save up again, get a bigger bag this time. But it's a maybe, but for the moment, yes. I would love to do it
keep it as a more special kind of event, because I know we really want to try and get you to come along to.
Because I need to go to UK one, so that'll be definite.
Come to that next year, because it's an easy one to get to. Yeah.
And obviously you don't have international travel to pay for with that one as well. So
yes.
So we'll see. I would love to. Don't get me wrong, but I can't promise. So it's a yes at the moment.
It is an experience.
You would go if you had the chance.
If you really wanted to splash out, technically you can fly to Birmingham from Gatwick.
This is true.
Because not being funny, I mean, I don't get to game as much as everyone else on this table does. So that weekend of gaming was just amazing for me. You know, it was a massive catch up for me.
Yeah,
it's probably not going to be another month or so till I get to a game table now, but you know, it was something I would love to do again in a heartbeat.
Nice.
That's really nice, mate. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much for giving us your time. I apologise it's been so long. But I really wanted to have this discussion because, you know, I am insanely jealous that you guys did get to go.
Yeah,
but
I've really enjoyed it. My list of games to play is ever expanding.
Absolutely, man.
That's it, mate.
Definitely. Well, I hope your jealousy is sated by your promo card.
It is.
And now, there we go.
I am genuinely chuffed with that. I am so thankful for it. But
that's the kind of stuff you can find at Spiel.
Yeah. Also, I mean, that's good enough reason to go.
Yeah.
Just go.
There you go.
Just go.
There you go.
So, one thing you did do while you were there, Wayne, was you did a few interviews, videos, and a few bits and bobs on your YouTube channel. So now is your time to promote your own podcast, your YouTube channel, and all of that, where people can check out all of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm from Board Stupid, spelled Board. You can find us wherever you find your favourite podcast. We've got a very active Instagram page. It's Board Stupid UK. We've got a very active Facebook page where we put most of the news. Again, you'll find it on Board Stupid UK. We did some interviews with some big publishers out in Spiel, which was great to do and was a pleasure to get their time. Yeah, people like Portal Games and Pandasaurus. We spoke to those folks. And yeah, we reported live from the event as best as we could to try and give you some impressions of how we were feeling pre and post each day. And yeah, so go check us out. Hopefully you enjoy it. That's Board Stupid, spelled BOARD.
Very, very good.
Nice.
Definitely worth checking out the content as well, guys, because it kept me informed all the time they were out there and kept me depressed. So,
Now you know how I felt when I was watching UK Expo footage and I was stuck at work. So
that's fair. That's fair. But yes, obviously, and you also talk about games on your
from time to
podcast.
time.
We've both myself and Wayne, and indeed James, have guested on your show.
Certainly have.
So would you like to give your show a little bit of a plug now as well?
I would. When I'm not cameraman for Board Stupid,
Yeah.
I run a podcast called the MTVB Podcast. The podcast talks about my 4 favorite subjects. That's movies, TV shows, video games, and board games. Each episode is different based on one of those 4 subjects. Finishes with top 5s as well. Like I said, Wayne, Board Stupid, Meeple Mind have been on the show. We talk about games. We recently done an episode about our collection. Part 2 will be out in November, so that'll be really good to look forward to. And yes, please, guys, listen if you can. Just type in on Google MTVB. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Anchor, FM, iTunes. We're everywhere. Just type it in. Give us a go.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you very much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure having them here, hasn't it, James?
It has indeed.
It's nice
Thanks
to
for having
talk
us
to
on,
other
guys.
people.
Have we stoked your incitement?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Well, I've got to admit, you've put me off ever going. So
The 365 countdown now.
Yeah, exactly. Countdown to Spiel 23.
I am desperately going to try and get out there for next year, providing my car decides to behave itself for the next year. I'm definitely going to be at Games Expo. I think we both are this year.
Yep.
I'm dragging James along, and we are already in discussions about coming to Spiel for next year.
So we'll do some collabs and content, mate. That'd be a great fun to do.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant. But yes, thank you again for joining us. We are going to hand over to the man in the news shed, but we will not come back and say goodbye. So we will do that all now because we've already been chatting for an hour and 20 minutes. So awesome stuff. Till next week, my name has been Jason.
I've been James.
I'm Ant.
I'm Wayne.
And you've been listening to the Meeple Minded, Board Stupid, MTVB podcast mashup, talking all things Essen 2022. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Till next week, goodbye.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
And that, my friend, is how you play electric guitar. You mean you've never touched one before? Surely you have. Well, I suppose your wings and everything, really, isn't it? Yeah. Well, there you go. I bought you a little one, and you can pop behind over there and give it a try and see what you think. Just put the headphones in, will you? We don't need that whilst I'm trying to record the news, alright? Yeah, good boy. Before you go, can you push that button, please? Well, last weekend saw gamers descend on the German city of Essen for this year's Essen Spiel. Although masks were still mandatory use throughout the event, production of your COVID status was not in effect as it was back in 2021. This year saw close to 150,000 gamers gracing the 6 halls available at the convention. That's still a drop on 2019's record attendance of over 200,000, but it just goes to show how eager we are to return from the pandemic and back into face-to-face gaming. Among the attendees were our friends from the Board Stupid podcast and a contingent from Worthing Board Gamers, and it was great to see their photos and media from their trip on social media. Over 1,200 new games and expansions were on show at the event from designers and publishers from across the globe. And that's not to mention the retailers offloading their wares onto the awaiting crowds. So with the news a little bit different this week, I'm going to try and highlight a few games that caught my eye from the feeds I've been watching from the event over the last week or so. Firstly, a small card game from the designer team Devir Games entitled Walkie, Talkie. A lively card-based party game that certainly won't break the bank. Everyone has a hand of 6 cards. Cards have a letter on one side and a colour on the other, and you have to hold your cards however they're dealt to you. When the timer starts, chaos begins as everybody plays at the same time. You can play a letter on the letter pile as long as you can name something that starts with that letter and matches the current colour showing. Similarly, you can play a colour on the colour pile as long as you can name something of that colour that starts with the letter atop the letter pile. For example, when playing a B card next to a yellow card, you could shout banana. And when playing an orange card next to an L, you could shout lion. You can't repeat a word previously given, and you can't name the colour of the colour card. Also, to ensure the chaos doesn't falter, whenever you want, someone can shout Roger, and all players must flip their cards in their hand, so letters become colours and vice versa. Or, alternatively, some bugger can shout over and pass the cards to the left. When time runs out, you gain points equal to the number of stars on played letter cards. Then subtract 1 point for each unplayed card. Try to score as many points as you can to win the game. Also, a game that was on show and heading for Kickstarter early next year from publishers Infinite Galaxy is a game that some people are rumoured to be calling Scythe on steroids, which I know will prick up the ears of one of our gaming group at least. Rob! The game is called Eye of Zamrock, and to say they're attempting to go up against CMON for the amount of plastic in a box is close to the truth. Little information is known on the play, but what I can tell you is Eye of Zamrock is this epic fantasy competitive game of strategy, adventure and resource management. To win, your kingdom must balance the pursuit of personal ambition against the need to cooperate with other players to achieve a common goal, fighting off the invasion. It's for 1 to 6 players, taking roughly an hour per player, and like I said, we'll be heading to crowdfunding early next year, and I'm sure we'll bring you a notification when it does. From Pandasaurus Games comes The Wolves, a pack-building strategy game for 2 to 5 players. It's survival of the fittest as you compete to build the largest, most dominant wolf pack by claiming territory, recruiting lone wolves and hunting prey. But be careful not to expand too recklessly into terrain where your rivals thrive. They may lure members of your pack away. A clever action selection mechanism drives your choices. Each action requires you to flip terrain tiles matching the terrain where you wish to take your action. These double-sided tiles mean the actions you take this round will set up which terrain types you can act upon on the next round. As you take actions to expand your pack's control of a region, you will also upgrade your pack's attributes, allowing you to take more aggressive actions as the game goes on. There are 3 mid-game scoring phases where power is calculated in each region. At the end of the game, players will tally up points based on VP tokens earned in these scoring phases and the highest VP number revealed in each of the 6 tracks on your player board. The player with the most VP wins. World Exchanges from publisher Emperor S4 is a card and write which sees you in the 12 rounds either buying a new city or selling one. Obviously, that's not the brunt of it. Each player has 3 random starting cities which determine your starting cash. $1,300 the cost of these cities. You mark this amount on the left-hand side of your personal player board. When you buy or sell a city, you subtract or add to your cash on hand, marking a mark on your player board in the current round at the proper amount. Then you draw a line that connects your previous amount and your current amount. If the line passes through a propaganda icon, move your token up a space on the propaganda board. If the line passes through a green, yellow or blue icon, you receive a bonus for cities of the same colours that you will have at the game's end. And if the line lands on a star, you receive a cash bonus at game's end based on the total number of stars on your board and cities you own. Once during the game, you can actually buy 2 cities or indeed sell 2 cities during a round, although not in the same round. In general, each green, yellow and blue city has a city icon of the matching colour, and you're trying to manipulate your ever-moving cash line and city collection so that in round 12 you ideally have a nice set of city icons that match marked bonuses of the same colour. For each icon you receive $100 per city of the same colour. So if you have 4 blue cities and 4 blue icons, you receive a bonus of $1,600. And if you have no blue icons, no bonus. In either case, the cities themselves are worth their face value. To this total, you add cash on hand, your star bonus, if any, a bonus based on your position on the propaganda board relative to other players, and an endgame bonus, or penalty, if you meet at least one of the conditions on the endgame bonus card. And Mr. Knizia's weird little game, Viking Seesaw, was on demo at the show too, from Japanese publisher Itten. In this dexterity game, each player has an assortment of cargo in different weights and shapes, and on turn you choose something and load it onto the deck of the raised portion of the ship. If the ship doesn't tilt, you're all good. If it does, however, you get to remove one of the wooden crates in a cabin and add it to your cargo. If you knock stuff off, put that stuff with your cargo too. I mean, you dropped it, so you're responsible for it. If someone places all their cargo, they win. If all of the crates have been claimed, whoever has the least amount of cargo wins. At the moment, the game itself is only available in Japan, but after being demoed at the show, along with some of the other titles from their Funbrick series, they hope to drum up enough interest to launch the series on Kickstarter in the near future. And beside the main news from Essen this year, the one who should be obeyed, Jason, wanted me to include this in the news. And it's some pretty interesting stuff, especially if you love a few of CMON's big IPs, and in particular a certain English heavy metal band. So devil horns in the air, and here we go. Yep, CMON, the kings of plastic in boxes, is bringing a very unusual addition to its Zombicide franchise, elements of which can be played in Rising Sun, Massive Darkness, Cuthulu, Death May Die, and even Ankh, Gods of Egypt. That's right, what could make any of these games even better than adding Iron Maiden's mascot Eddie in a plethora of guises, from Iron Maiden's most iconic album covers into your favourite tabletop skirmish. Eddie is perhaps the most recognisable mascot in heavy metal music, a strange figure who has crossed over into the countless genres on the covers of various Iron Maiden album covers. Eddie has also been incorporated into the stage dressing for Iron Maiden's tour, often spurting blood or fireworks from various orifices. A grand total of 14 Eddies are available within 3 different packs, currently on pre-order from the CMON website. But grab all 3, and why wouldn't you, and you'll get the original Eddie, taking the count to 15 as a special pre-order bundle pledge backer. The Iron Maiden crossover continues a string of crossover miniature packs with different franchises. In recent months, CMON has announced miniature packs featuring characters to include in its games in the form of Supernatural, The Boys, Thundercats, Ghostbusters, and various Batman from the Dark Knights Metal event series. But good luck finding them, and indeed funding their purchase. With extended news, we've just got one crowdfunding campaign for you this week, and it's Redwood by Sit Down. It's for 1 to 4 players, takes 45 minutes to play, 10 years and over, and ends on Wednesday, October the 26th. At the fringes of a wild landscape, nature-loving photographers travel great distances and flex infinite patience to immortalise animals in their natural habitat. In search of harmony, these trailblazers compose sumptuous shots that depict the marvels they encounter during their wanderings. Dazzle your audience by demonstrating your wildlife photography talents. Create a magnificent panorama. Flaunt your skill by including a great diversity of flora and fauna in your shots. And at the end of the game, be the player with the most harmony points. Redwood is a game of movement estimations, an angle of view where players have to take pictures of wild animals to compose the most beautiful panorama. During their turn, each player will have to choose between different movements and their angle of view, materialised by real plastic elements, to catch the animals in the picture without disturbing them. Collecting animals and decorative elements earn victory points. During the game, new conditions for earning points will indeed appear. The game ends after 5 turns, and players will be rewarded if they meet certain conditions to earn more points. There are plenty of pledges. You can start off at £40 for the Raccoon Pledge, getting you a retail copy of the game with an approximate 15% of the recommended retail price. £57 gets you the Fox Pledge, which is the Kickstarter exclusive edition, which includes upgraded components, inserts and sleeves. Or you can include the expansion Into the Wild with your Kickstarter exclusive edition of the game with the Bear Pledge at £81. Go big with the Mountain Lion Pledge, which gets you all the base and expansion Kickstarter exclusive content wrapped up in one big box for £87, which includes a game trays designed insert. But if that's still not enough, the Elk Pledge is for you. Everything I've already mentioned, big boxes, upgraded components, inserts, and then to top it off, what do we need? Neoprene mats. That's right, because why the hell not? Oh, the price? That will set you back £122. Yep. And on to events, and I've been informed along the grapevine that with most of our listeners dabbling in from across the pond, that local gaming groups aren't too relevant. So going forward, I'll just mention our game days that are coming up. But by all means, if this is your fountain of knowledge for all things local, then do get in touch and we'll bring them back in. After all that, my game day is this coming Sunday. Mid-Sussex Meeples returns to Cypress Hall in Burgess Hill for this month's Festival of Cardboard and Plastic. We'll be there from 10 AM through to 6 PM, as always providing you with a space to game to your heart's content, with tea, coffee, squash and biscuits, all for the princely sum of £5 per head. And don't forget your cash though, as we've always got our for sale table to tempt you before the Christmas period, or even find an early gift for a friend, family member or acquaintance. So I look forward to seeing you next Sunday, the 23rd, here in Burgess Hill. More information can be found on our Facebook page or our website midsussexmeeples.co.uk, including our new dates for 2023. Yep, I'm really that far on the ball. So Brian, how's your guitar playing coming along? Okay, go for it. Okay. You say you've never played a guitar before? Yeah, me thinks someone's fibbing a little bit. What do you mean, YouTube? Yeah, I suppose YouTube has got a lot to answer for. Anywho, you can show me them videos now and I might be able to improve my playing a little bit. But before you do, say goodbye to everyone for me. And it's a goodbye from me, Meeples. Keep safe, keep those dice rolling, the cards shuffling, and we'll be right here for you next week.